Hi everyone, it's Kristen from the Dahlia Society. I have a catch up for you today. I'm going to talk all things about Melbourne Frocktails and the incredible night that we have. So go and grab a cuppa and join me. I hope you're all well. I'm here today to talk about the Melbourne Frocktails event that we had last Saturday at the Railway Hotel in Brunswick, Melbourne. Now this year's Frocktails was the biggest, I think, on record. And a huge congratulations to the lovely Shelley and Lisa who do all the organising, and I don't envy that job. It was a huge night. It ended up being one of the coldest November days we've had in, I think, 120 years. So here I am worried about being all hot, what I wore, and it was freezing. We all had to wear our coats in there. And there was a makeshift coat rack, which was basically a table piled up that high with everyone's trench coat. So really miserable weather-wise. But once we got in there, it really didn't matter because we all warmed up. It was a huge night. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we got up to and who we caught up with, patterns, some new patterns that I saw, a little bit of inspiration from fellow sewists. And if you haven't ever been to a Frocktails event before, most capital cities do hold them, and that's around the world now. And these ladies, I think it was their biggest one ever with close to 500 people. I think last year was 200 to 300 maybe. And they had to change venues this year because they just couldn't squeeze everyone in. So the first year I went was 2023, and that was at a beautiful old building in the middle of Melbourne. It was a bank on Collins, and I think there was under 200 people. And that seemed like a lot in that little building. So they moved last year, and again, it keeps growing and growing. And this year they wanted to make sure they got as many people into the venue that wanted to come because, yeah, it is fantastic to get such a great community of people together who all share in the joy of sewing. And I ended up bringing my daughters Charlotte and Eliza, the twins, with me this weekend. Phoebe has come for the last 2 years. This year she couldn't make it. So I decided to bring the twins, and that meant I had to sew them a dress each because they both don't sew. And Deb from DB Designs did say to them, I expect you girls to be here next year in something you've made yourself, because she said, if my 8-year-old granddaughter Phoebe can sew her own clothes, or she's learning to sew, you girls can too. So I'm going to hold them to that. I would love to be able to see them make their own dresses. But it really was fantastic. Such a beautiful night. As soon as you walk in, you feel like you're welcomed into this big warm hug of creative people, all different ages, all different sizes, all different backgrounds, all different sewing tastes. Some people had full-on vintage ball gowns. There's some girls that normally come in full like burlesque or ball gowns or vintage gowns. You have ladies that just make beautiful summer frocks, maybe that they want to wear to a picnic again, because that's always a great idea to sew something you can wear again. But for me, I wanted to go full glam because I think it's my only time that I can do that. And it really was great to see a lot of other people had gone to so much trouble. There was lots of spangles and sparkles and sequins and brocades and jacquards, silks, charmeuse, some really beautiful ornate fabric. Then you had people in classic vintage black dresses, cocktail dresses. You had, full hoops. You had people in block prints, people with handmade jewelry. It was just incredible. So I'm going to insert some pics and a bit of footage so you can see exactly the type of night it was. Hi everyone, we've just arrived at Melbourne Brady Hotel. It is a miserable 15 degrees, raining like mad. We've just caught the train in from my daughter Eliza's hometown in Longwarry, and we decided to train it into the city for a bit of a relax. And it basically hasn't stopped raining the whole time. But we're not going to let that dampen our spirits. We're going to be heading out for lunch and then we're going to come back and get a bit glammed up. But I'll give you a bit of a tour of the room. So this is the Brady Melbourne Central, and we've got a nice little seated area here and here, little kitchenette, and this is my room. Really nice view from the ensuite, which is fantastic, but you've got to remember to draw the blind down before you use a shower and have a look at that weather out there. Shocking day, considering that Melbourne, now this time of year we can have, the high 30s, and today is 15 degrees and miserable, but you're right up the top. So we're going to be heading out for lunch soon. Just hung up the Frocktails dress. The girls are just getting ready and I've got everything ready for tonight. I'm going to have to bring the jacket. Got a cute little bag from TK Maxx. It's really cute. It's nice and sparkly, like a clamshell. My dress is already there, and these are my new shoes. I decided to go for a little block heel because it's a bit more comfy. And these are from Hush Puppies, and I thought they had a bit of a kind of a 70s vibe. I'll be able to wear them again. I didn't want to go sort of too high or, too pointy because I won't wear them, but these I will. So I got the good old trusty trench coat. Can't believe I have to get that out this time of year, but anyway, we're ready for a good afternoon and a great night. Charlotte and Liza have got their shoes, handbags. Okay, Charlotte's got the 9 West. These are so cute. Little lattice effect here and very cute bag. I think that's from Forever New. Eliza, where are your shoes from? Can you remember?
Nina, you can get them in Maya.
Hi. Nina from Maya. Oh, these are really cute. Oh my goodness.
Love the colour.
Very cute. And
Handbag
is by Mum.
Yeah.
I had something to match in the cupboard, so very cute. Girls have got a cute little twin room here. Nice little balcony, but unfortunately the weather's too miserable to sit out there today. But I think it's time to get some lunch. Off to Frocktails 2025, all glammed up, ready to hit the road. Cheers! A lovely big crowd here tonight. Quite a big crowd tonight. Hi, Deb. Hi. So lots of chattering going on, and I must admit it does get a little bit hard to hear when you have that many voices chattering all at once, but it was just so wonderful. So some other YouTube vloggers I got to catch up with, of course, was Sarah from So Sarah Sewed, and Sarah looked incredible, and I am inspired to make the dress pattern she was wearing. Just a beautiful dress. She had Miss Moresby fabric on, which was beautiful as well. Then we saw Deb from DB Designs, and Deb had a gorgeous dress on again. I think it was from the Bold One pattern in a really lovely jacquard or brocade fabric. She just looked incredible. Deb always just looks stunning, and she's such an accomplished sewist. And yeah, we got the privilege to hang out with her all night. A lovely friend that I catch up with that I met at Frocktails called Linda, and Linda always comes to find us at Frocktails. So we catch up once a year. It's a wonderful time. We have a couple of champagnes and just, a lot of chatter going on. Then I got to see the lovely Katrina from Create Something Pretty, and we were chatting to Katrina for a long time. I had people coming up to watch the channel that I haven't met. So a lovely lady called Irene, who actually went to the Adelaide Frocktails and met Hayley. She finally came to her first Melbourne Frocktails, and she had some of our beautiful Eglanton and Zoe fabric on, which was just so lovely to bump into her. We had an incredible photographer there. We were very lucky to get in the queue to get pics before a lot of people arrived, because the last 2 years we haven't had the opportunity. This has been such a big queue, and it was just wonderful to see the queue was moving more freely. So the girls and I jumped in and had some professional pics done. So we were very happy to do that. We all got a cocktail on arrival, which was a rhubarb flavoured gin cocktail. And every year, people that are coming to the event get the opportunity to name the cocktail of the night. And I think the name of it was Positive Ease. So it has to be sewing related. And I thought that was a really smart name for a cocktail, positive E's. And the non-alcoholic version was negative E. So that was, again, very, very clever. So beautiful cocktail. We had finger food. And then we had a lovely lady there called Lisa from Lisa's Tiny Studio. Now, Lisa was actually sketching people. And I think so often someone would win a door prize. There was, I think, about 10 given away on the night to lucky people that got a pic taken. And Lisa had done a beautiful art sketch of them. And I know that Linda that was there that we met up with, she was one of the lucky recipients of that prize. And she showed us her beautiful illustration of her and her outfit of the night. And I just thought, what a wonderful idea. Such an incredibly talented artist. Lisa was busily sketching away there on the night. And as I was leaving, I popped in to say hi to her, and I thought she, just wanted to let her know how incredible her work was. And she took a pic of me and said she wanted to do a sketch and she's going to send it to me, which I thought was just amazing.
How are you? Oh, thank you. Oh, wow, some amazing artwork happening here.
So I'm really excited to see how that turns out because I just thought Linda's was wonderful. So I'll put some images in of Lisa's work, and I will link her website in the details of this episode. So if you want to go and check out Instagram handle or her website, you can do that. She does special days, she does weddings, she does formal events, and just so talented. And I just thought that was a really wonderful highlight of the night to just be watching her work away there. So yeah, she mentioned she'd been watching the channel for a long time. I was really, really excited to hear that. So she's a fellow sewist and yeah, just such a talented artist. So some pics of her work, and yeah, don't forget to go and check out her website. If you've got a special event happening and you want Lisa to do some artwork for you, you can do that. So yeah, what an amazing lady, so talented. It was a miserable wet day, and the girls and I got drenched basically walking around the city. We ended up all getting ready for the night, and they loved their first Frocktails, and it won't be their last. They are so excited to come to next year's as well, because they just said it was just such a great feeling meeting all these people and talking all things creative and just chatting. So beautiful night. Then towards the end of the night, they had the prize draw. So there was an incredible amount of prizes from some very generous businesses, all kinds of things from vouchers to stores to, I think, Sarah won a big case of thread of every single colour of the rainbow. So the door prizes were just randomly drawn. And, patterns given away. I think Starlight were giving away a lot of patterns as well. We donated a $200 voucher to a lucky winner as well. So, yeah, that was a real highlight of the night, seeing everyone rush up to the stage and gather up their presents. So I'm going to talk about what we wore for the night. And what I'm wearing now is actually an itch-to-stitch dress, Serrata dress from memory. Now, I made this many years ago. This is from a Liverpool, like a scuba fabric, knit in a really lovely cobalt blue, and it's such a fantastic pattern with the deep V-neck and that shawl style collar, one of my favourite designs. You can actually make this in a top. And I actually made this in sleeveless back years ago when I made this, but it's one of those dress patterns you can make, short sleeve, long sleeve. So yeah, really, really practical. And I have to talk about an episode I'm doing next will be on all things to do with show-stopping dresses for making for Christmas. A lot of the ideas I got were from the lovely people I saw dressed up. And, I had to stop a few people and ask what the patterns were, what the fabrics were, because it really does give you a bit of inspo when you see people all dressed up and glammed up. It was fabulous. So great lot of inspiration for the night. So if you're ever interested in going to Melbourne Frocktails, don't forget to follow their Instagram handle. That way you'll see when they're about to announce tickets, which usually go on sale June, July. So they do sell out really, really fast. But this year I think everyone was lucky to get tickets. So it was a fabulous night. So let's talk about what we wore. So I was so thrilled with how this dress turned out. Now, of course, this is the Deer and Doe Mistral dress. It can be made in knit or in woven, and I made mine in a beautiful Lady McElroy knit, which is called Veneta Glamour, and I think I have one remnant piece left. It's so beautiful. It's like between scuba and ponte weight. It's got the black on the reverse. Really nice amount of stretch. I'll show you how much. great amount of stretch, but also a nice amount of body. So it's not too loose or too drapey. The thing I love about this fabric is it is a metallic velvet velour, and it's cut out, this pattern's cut out slightly on the bias. So there's 4 pattern pieces to the Deer and Doe Mistral. And on the top sort of half of the bodice, that you've got the 2 front, 2 back. The top parts are angled so that it's slightly on the bias. So you get that bias sort of drapiness, which is really, really lovely. And I love it in both the woven and in the knit, but I was so thrilled with how it came up. This fabric, being the velour, I had always been taught that with velour, of course, watch that you're cutting it on the nap. It all has to go in the same cutting direction. But with velour, I always was taught that if you cut it in the opposite direction, so all the pieces the same way, that is, it gives it a more lustrous look, and you get that little bit more shimmer with the way the light hits it. So I always think about cutting velvet or velour the opposite way around to what the grain line normally runs, to get a bit more glam effect.
I'm wearing another Deer and Doe pattern. This is the Mistral dress, and this is a knit Lady McElroy called Veneta Glamour. It's actually a velvet, and it's like a sort of a lustrous velvet. It looks metallic. It's really nice. So it's sort of like a ponte wave. You can make this dress in a woven as well. So there's 2 different patterns, one's for knit, one's for woven. And I think it's meant to be more ruchy, but because it's slinky underneath, it kind of slips around a bit, but it's really comfortable. And it's just basically 4 pattern pieces and a V-neck. And yeah, it's really easy to make. So you just 2 front and 2 back. And I think I went the size 40 and 42, did a bit of grading, and really happy with the fit and love this dress.
But the metallic look in the fabric is so unusual. I'll show you up close. Really lovely the way the light hits it. And I felt like $1 million in this, literally. So yeah, being the gold and glam, I know a lot of people wanted to see me in that beautiful red silk damask fabric, but that may be coming maybe next year. We'll wait and see. But really happy with the pattern. I love the way it flatters a figure. It gives you a really nice shape and is so comfortable to wear. So I can highly recommend that. And I made it the maxi length, but I did take about 10 centimeters off the length because it is really, really long. I think they grade the patterns for like 5'7" or 5'8". So think about that when you're cutting it out. And I ended up not even bothering to hem the hem. I just cut it, very cheekily cut it nice and straight. Didn't have to hem it up. I hand stitched the sleeves up. That was quite a job to make sure it wasn't puckering because, of course, being metallic and velour, everything stands out. The point at the front was a little bit fiddly because everyone knows these V-necks, unless you get them so precise and so perfect, they can pucker a little bit. But once I got it on, it felt great. And of course, it has sort of not quite as much of a shawl neck as this one, but a really nice high cut back on the V. And I put a little label that says creativity. Never goes out of style. And yeah, it was such an easy dress to make. Of course, all done with the serger, except for that facing piece at the neck. That's all done with the regular sewing machine. But the rest of it was done with the serger, and it literally took me a couple of hours from start to finish by the time my hand stitched, maybe a little bit more time, but really a quick sew. Fantastic dress to wear. I wore some block heel little shoes that had a slightly like a 70s vibe, I would say. I really, really loved those shoes, and they were so comfortable because I have a wide foot and anything pointy, just about kills my feet. And I have to admit that I didn't feel any pain at all with those shoes on. The earrings I wore were from a beautiful Australian company called Middle Child, and they make the most stunning Art Deco inspired jewelry, and their earrings are all beautiful. I think they're having a sale at the moment, but I'll put a pic up of the ones I wore. I loved the gold and the brown. They really matched perfectly with this Lady McElroy fabric, but felt like $1 million and got lots of compliments on this dress, and just felt really happy with the choice that I made. And the girls, let's talk about the twins' dresses. So firstly, we'll talk about Charlotte's dress, because Charlotte's the older twin. I always feel like I've got to go in order like that. It's really weird, isn't it? Charlotte wore a Deer and Doe lilac dress. I was wearing the Deer and Doe lilac dress, and the fabric is a gorgeous fabric gone by the linen viscose blend called Q.
And she is wearing, from memory, size 40, 30, I think we graded for 38 to 40, and C cut the bust. Now the bust is like there's actually 4 panels, and it's a really nice fit actually. And you can wear the sleeves off the shoulder like that, or you can pop them up with elastic. So it really depends on how you want to wear them. And we've gone for the midi length, and I think it looks very cute.
Now that fabric was a really stunning Q fabric from Fabric Godmother in the white and blue linen viscose. Absolutely beautiful. Now we felt it was very much a Zimmerman vibe, Aussie designer Zimmerman. Really, they had the kind of a antique or tropical vibe to a lot of their prints with palm trees and things like that. Really looked gorgeous on her. I ended up making her this size 38, and we did a C cup on her, and of course looking at full of bust adjustments for things. If you're petite like that and you need to do that, that's a great thing to have in the pattern built in there. I took 5 centimeters out of the torso because they are only 5'2", the twins. So you always got to think about that when making something to cater for your petite height. And also the sleeves I sized down to 36 because they're quite a big sleeve. I took about 10 centimeters out of the length of the sleeve because she wanted it to sit on her, just up below her elbow area, and we tied them up really nicely. The elastic, I ended up taking quite a bit more elastic out than what the pattern suggested because we before we finished stitching up, we put the elastic required amount in, and of course they just fell straight off. She wanted to be able to wear them on or off. So I ended up taking about 10 centimeters out of the elastic length to get the right length. We ended up making it into a mini. It looked gorgeous on her. So that dress you can make with either the straps or the sort of boho sleeves with the ties. So a really lovely pattern to make. It wasn't the easiest pattern to make. There was quite a bit of technique involved there. You've got your lined bust as well with your paneling, and the invisible zipper at the back came together beautifully with my Benina invisible zipper foot, which I just love. After years of having machines that were terrible with zippers, that zipper foot is just a godsend. So love how that came up. Yeah, she looked beautiful, and her little shoes and handbag I think all matched really, really well. Then Eliza's dress, she wore the Rosalie by Mason Fauve patterns. So this is the Mason Fauve Rosalie dress, and fabric is Eglantin Zoe Strelly, which is beautiful. The jacquard viscose. Lovely little ties on the sleeve, and the front has some nice pleating at the shoulders and under the bust. We've got princess seams and a front split. Woohoo! Very lovely. And I love the tie detail on the sleeves. And there's a side zip, no zip in the back at all. And I think we grade between size 38 and 40 at the waist. I think the shoulders are about a 36. Yeah, and we're pretty happy with the fit. So looking beautiful. That again was a beautiful make. I did the same adjustments with the bodice. I took 5 centimeters out of the torso. We ended up doing a small shoulder adjustment. So she went for the 36 shoulders, 38 bust, 40 waist. Yeah, because she's got sort of smaller shoulders, we wanted to make sure that they were sitting up nicely. And of course, around the bust area, there's quite a bit of pleating and gathering there. But yeah, it came up really, really lovely in that Eglantin Zoe fabric, which is a gorgeous viscose jacquard, really gorgeous color, like a magenta on her. And she had some gorgeous little rose gold shoes with the bows. And yeah, she said she loved wearing it. It was comfortable. It's got princess seams throughout the front and back. And the split at the front, you can either have the split in or leave it out. And Deb was just talking to her about it because Deb made herself that same pattern in some fabric from one of our previous boxes again. And she just said it looks nothing on the hanger, but when you put it on, it's such a beautifully fitted dress. Has a very vintage 1940s appeal, I think, that dress. But yeah, looked really stunning. So they got lots of compliments on their dresses. There was so many dresses for the night that I was just stopping and admiring. There was a dress a lady called Robin, one of our customers, was wearing. It was the Lennox dress from Love Notions, and she was full sequins with a split at the front and a beautiful belt, and she just looked $1,000,000. I had to stop her and tell her how gorgeous that dress looked on her. But yeah, it really made me feel like looking and delving into glamorous show-stopping dress pattern. So that will be the next vlog I'm putting together. I'm working on it now, and I can't wait to go through dresses that I feel are ones that you're going to want to make for a celebration. Maybe you've got a festive party, Christmas party coming up, a wedding, or an event. You want something a little bit glam and show-stopping. It was so great to see so much fabric, different interpretations of what cocktail meant to someone, frocktail meant to somebody. Of course, a lot of knits, which I found really inspiring. There was a lot of glittery, shimmery knits. A lovely lady called Courtney had a beautiful self-drafted pattern with a cutout sleeve and the high neck, which was beautiful. There were people with halter neck dresses on, which I always think looks so glamorous dressing up for an evening out. There was a lot of big statement sleeves. There was bows and tulle and all kinds of things. So it really was a very inspiring night. And again, congratulations to the ladies who do such a great job every year putting Frocktails together. If you were there on the night, I hope you had a wonderful night. A lot of people came up to say hi. Someone at the end of the night said she was too shy to come up all night till the end. She finally came up, and we love to meet our viewers because a lot of the time we only know the names, we don't see the faces. So we love to have people come up and introduce themselves. And we had a lot of ladies that went solo on the night and decided to come and just really immerse themselves into the beautiful community that the sewing community is. So don't feel afraid if you haven't been before and you want to come on your own. There's plenty of people there that will welcome you with open arms. I loved also seeing different interpretations, people that might not have wanted to wear a dress, they might have worn a pantsuit. A lovely lady called Heather, a customer of ours, wore a gorgeous damask jacket from Mason Fauve Patterns, and it was a really lovely cropped fabric. She had it in a really lovely jacquard as well. So you don't always have to wear a dress. I think it's great to show your personality off in whatever garment makes you feel special for the night. I can't wait for next year. I'm already planning, I know, right? I'm already planning my next year's dress and what kind of look I want to go for. But looking through the pattern suggestions for the next vlog, I have really opened up a can of worms. There's so many beautiful, ornate and detailed patterns out there that are just so inspiring to see. So fantastic night was had by all. So I hope you all enjoyed that, a little glimpse into Melbourne Frocktails. I will be back with some new fabrics and new patterns in the store. We have our Makers Gallery coming up very shortly as well. We're just compiling all those pics together because a lot of you are waiting on seeing that. And I can't wait to get some content happening. I've been incredibly busy in the store. I have to say, I still haven't made anything. The plans that I had to make things have been put on hold until we get some orders out. But I have had a lot of people asking if we're going to be doing a Black Friday sale. Yes, we do every year. If you would like to know about when the Black Friday sale will be, if you want first dibs on that, I would highly suggest signing up to our newsletter because that way you will be a VIP in line to know when that sale will start. Little tip, it's towards the end of the month, so not for a little while yet. I know a lot of people are doing them early. We tend to leave ours heading in towards the end of the month. We've got Phoebe's birthday and Sam's birthday next week. So we've got a really busy week of birthdays in the house. Didn't plan that too well, but only 2 days apart. So that's what happens sometimes, isn't it, when you have that many kids? So lots of birthdays happening, lots of special events happening. It's just such a great time of year. If we had some nice weather, we could maybe be making some more summery things, but it's not looking great this week. Hopefully it'll start warming up very shortly. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you next time on the channel with some new fabrics and patterns, and take care. See you all soon. Bye for now.